All right. What's up, bro?
All right. What's up?
Pretty good, bro. Like I said, I didn't even fucking start promotion yet, but the shit's going crazy. It's been like the biggest. It's weird because like it's been the biggest like numbers I've got in like a week, but like it's not as much feedback as like my old shit. So I think like people are like just fucking listening and like they like don't know what to think, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's weird because it's like an album where it's like, it's a lot that happens in like a short amount of time. So it's kind of like hard to process, especially off like first listen and stuff.
No, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
No, yeah, it's different.
It's different. Yeah, it's definitely, I'd say, I mean, I don't know if you agree, but it's like my most experimental album for sure.
No, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't even know what.
That's like all I could describe.
I don't know what
it.
genre I'd put it under, to be honest.
Yeah, I put it under pop as number one because it kind of, like songs like Yellow and like Last Summer and that, like all that shit. That would definitely fit under pop, but like the rest, dude, I have no idea.
Like that. Okay, so the intro.
Aura?
Yeah.
So Aura was a song I finished I didn't finish that. I started it in August. So it was like one of the first 4 songs, I guess you'd say I started. And I had that synth, that like Tame Impala.
Yeah, the
synth.
wobble.
Yeah, the wobbly synth, bro, like the modulated one.
Yeah.
I was really into his album at that time, specifically the song Nangs.
Yeah.
And I thought that synth was so cool. So I was working so hard to try to get like a synth like that. And I figured it out and I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, this has got to be the intro.
Yeah. Like it's kind of like the intro's kind of pop, but like kind of, and then it goes like, and then when that 808
the structure
hits,
is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
The structure is like hella random.
Yeah.
But it works, I guess, as an intro. And I guess my goal for Aura was for it to be like, just like madness, you know? Just like stuff flying around and like you don't know what's going on, but it's like really good at the same time.
Yeah.
But you're like really confused, but I don't know. It's a weird feeling that it gives off. So yeah, I had that main synth and then the Aura sample, the one I sent you, is like the little chant sort of thing. And so yeah, I had that and then it built up, that bass comes in. That low end bass, like before it drops, is really crazy.
Yeah.
And that actually made that song really hard to mix because like I wanted to get each point where I wanted like the excitement to come in. There's like a few of them. So like it starts off, obviously the ship lands and it's like that you could like barely hear the synth and then it's like Aura, and it blows up. And then I needed to keep that excitement going, but then also make it more exciting when it actually drops and my rap verse comes in. Neptune gets back with the heat. Hop up in the track, then we brag and repeat. So that was like tough to mix, but I think I got it down. And yeah, that rap verse is just like I just want to be like, yo, like I'm back. You know?
Dude.
Yeah, just like a confident ass like rap verse. Neptune gets back with the heat. Hop up on the track, then we brag and repeat. Pick them up quick, like a cab in the street. To subtract and delete, they're snatching the feet. Like, yeah, that shit is crazy, dude. So I say that, and then it goes into that little synth part, like any time of the day, and then it just goes crazy. Like, said I'm dropping it not once but 3 times. That shit is my favorite part, bro. You fuck with that part?
Yeah, I fuck with that.
It's so good. I love that part. Because it's just like, it's that bounce, that rap bounce I like that you also hear on Gatsby.
Yeah.
But like, it's just super hard with like the gunshots and everything going on. And like the high pitched ad libs. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then it keeps going and then it just opens up into this beautiful ass string section.
Yeah, the strings.
Yeah, the strings are crazy, dude. For the string section, I had those chords originally. It was this other song I did with my friend over the summer. And I had that for a bridge on one of my other songs. I was like, damn, I need to put those chords somewhere in the album because I think they're like really sick. And so I had the original beat for Aura, like just the rap part, and I was like, this needs something like crazy to happen. So I put that string section in, and Mitch is freestyling over it. I think just like that completed it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then the rest pretty much was icing on the cake. The chords switch again into the big synth ending, and yeah.
And then the actual ending.
Yeah, that was what?
The actual ending leading in to
last
summer.
Yeah. So I had last summer was like the second song I think I finished on the album, and I pretty much had the whole structure and everything down, and I knew Aura was gonna go first, and I was originally gonna have Last Summer go first in the album because I feel like it'd be a good intro, especially because it like kind of encapsulates the whole album.
Yeah.
But then I made Aura. I was like, okay, this has to go first. So I put Last Summer second. And at the end of Aura, I was like, and I thought of that like segue. So the song ends and you hear like the, you are now listening to NEP2NE Radio.
Yeah.
And then that cuts off. And then the whole storyline starts for the album pretty much there. And you get introduced to this like female character. She says, so how was your summer? And I said, And then it starts, and then obviously I tell you about the summer. So, yeah, that was pretty much how that worked.
Yeah. All right. And then Fast Enough, we heard before.
Fast Enough. Wait, before Fast Enough, I just want to get into Last Summer. Say that's my fucking favorite song, dude, I've ever done. I love that shit so much, bro. Like the song in general, I think is like everything. It's just like so me, and especially with like the whole structure of it is like it's like pop, but also like keeps it interesting. With like the hook like dipping in and out throughout the song, I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Like the instrumentation I use obviously with the piano, and for that song, I actually started out. So one day I was just randomly playing the piano. And I had that first chord. I was like, dun, and I was like, okay, it's kind of fire. And then I went down to the second one, like, dun, dun. I was like, oh, okay, this could like turn into something. And so I started playing with like the patterns on how I played them, and like I like kept playing it and trying to figure it out. And then all of a sudden I went like, dun 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 dun. I was like, fuck, this is crazy. So I sprinted down to the fucking downstairs to my computer, put that shit in, and pretty much made the beat from there. And I was really hyped about that. And I think lyrically it's also my favorite on the album, just because like, I don't know, I'm talking so much in detail about like pretty much the best time of my life.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And I actually wrote that song like in the midst of that summer, because I knew I was like, dude, I'm gonna miss this so much. So I started writing, and that whole verse, I mean both verses on the song, but that whole first verse is just like all feeling like, last summer was a dream to me. Show me everything as it would have seemed to be. Early day, gather up the team and meet. Late nights, watch a couple DVDs, yeah. Couple rough nights, fell in love twice. Go swimming while we soak up all the sunlight. It was so great, couldn't complain. I played piano down to eat up all the snowflake. Loving life, hopped up on the bike, ride it real fast, never worry about like this is all shit that happened during the summer. And I like that verse a lot because it sounds like I'm excited to like share my experience, you know?
Yeah.
Like I really want to like share what happened, and I think the way I did that was really cool, especially with the flows and stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people can definitely like hear that, like that story, like they can make up the story themselves of like summer.
Exactly, because like they're obviously not going to know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Because like it's personal to me, but I think on a deeper level, everyone can relate, just because everyone does have that time of their life where they're like, it feels like a dream, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's like the best time of their life. I know you had a pretty good summer last summer, right?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's usually, you know, everyone looks forward to it, you know? Summer is
Yeah. Summer in general, I think is like, definitely everyone looks forward to it. And it's my favorite, definitely, for sure. I mean, it's crazy because on Neptune, I had a song called In the Summer, obviously, which was kind of like pre-summer. I wrote that song pre-summer. And then on this album, you hear Last Summer, and they're both about the same summer, which is crazy because it's like kind of like post and pre-summer. And it was more than I dreamed it to be, and it was really cool. And the hook dips in and out. Last summer, which is like some shit I thought of on the spot, just because like I don't know, it was just all feeling.
Yeah.
And then second verse, I kind of elaborate, watermelon and peach. That's all like the details. I love having those details in it, so I think that makes it really, like, it kind of puts you in my shoes.
Yeah. All right. So then, Fast Enough, that we heard before the album came out.
Fast Enough, yeah. So that was actually the first song I finished on the album. It was this song by Kilarsa. I found him on SoundCloud, and it was a song he had called Fast Enough, and I was like, this hook is really, really good. And one day I was bored, playing the piano again, and I heard that song before, and so I like figured out the chords to it, and I thought it sounded really, really good on piano. So I just played it on piano and figured it out, and I was like, I could probably turn this into something. So just for fun, I put it into the program and just had it looping, and I threw in my own hook, the high pitch Fast Enough hook, and I was like, yo, this is pretty good. And I hit him up a few months later, and I sent him that little thing I had. I was like, yo, I love your song Fast Enough. Like, do you think I could like interpolate your hook to make like my own version? He said, yeah, bro, like for sure, go for it. And obviously we ended up doing that feature later in the year, like Solange. And sadly he passed away, so it was tough. It was definitely tough because he, I think out of everyone, he helped me the most for the Blue Angel, just with melodies and ideas, and like we were just, it was tough. But so I had that song, had the hook and everything, and it was at the time where I kind of wanted to expand and kind of like meet new artists and like work with them and stuff. And that's when I found Chuck, and I thought his voice, his like deep rap voice would go perfect on that song, kind of as like a contrast to like the happy beat. And it worked out really well. And he had that verse, and then I ended up finishing the song on my own. My favorite part of that song actually is the second verse. Yeah. Because I know we were messing around with some melodies early on in the early stages of it. But my favorite part is that second verse. It was kind of inspired by your melody too. The I'm gonna catch you, I'm running on 2 feet. I don't want you missing in my life. I'm feeling like I need you to survive. Yeah. Those melodies are really nice. And then the rap verse obviously comes in, which is cool. And then I was trying to figure out how to end it, and it took me a while to figure it out. But then I did that key change, I need to see you 'cause I have to, because. And then I ended on the rap verse. And in the rap verse, I kind of conclude, or not conclude in the whole album, but kind of like where I'm at in that relationship with the female character that gets presented. And then that's where you hear Stefan come in and kind of boost my ego pretty much to set us up for the next song, which is Gatsby. Yeah. And I thought that was really cool. I don't know. What do you think about that song?
I think it's, the second part definitely, it changes it up. I really like the part. And then the way you talked about like the leads into your ego on Gatsby. I think that's just
I forget how the verse goes, but it's like, I gave you all my energy, but I wish that I had yours. I'm kind of down about it. And like the background vocals are like, gone for now. And then Stefan comes in with that voice in, and kind of boosts my ego, and that sets us up for Gatsby. Yeah. And Gatsby, dude, we were just having fun with that, bro. I made that like pretty much midway through the making of the album. I had this beat that me and my friend Carter made, and as it was a really fire beat, and then like as we were saving it, because I always like obviously save my project files at the end, I was like, shit, what should I name this? And I just randomly came to my head Gatsby, and it's like, all right, I'll save that. And that ended up somehow becoming the hook, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just me and Dre just fucking going crazy and just having fun. Yeah, and just kind of, like I said, like the ego boosted thing. Getting so much cash come with Gatsby. When I'm on the block, I pull up, they be happy. Like, we're just having fun. And Dre's verse, I think that's his best on the album, on Gatsby. He goes crazy on that. I mean, he always goes hard. Like, even in the early days, like when I had like shitty beats for him, like he would go crazy on them.
Yeah, it's just his voice, I think.
Yeah, his voice yes, his voice is so fire. And the thing is, I feel like for his solo work, he always like, he sticks to like a similar genre, I'd say, for like mainly hip hop for his solo work. So like working with him and get kind of like breaking him out of that box and putting him on a new sound is something like I love doing. So I had the beat, and actually when he came over, I had the yellow beat too. And I was like, yo, you'd sound fire on this too. So we were kind of choosing between the two. And he did Gatsby, and then we ended up doing yellow like months later. But yeah, so that's pretty much the first half. And then everything takes a turn for the second half.
Yeah.
And shit just goes mad crazy. You hear that little sample I used. It's from a song called You and Your Big Ideas. Yeah, I'm so full of ideas, and here's a good one. Yeah. And then I just go crazy. I'm just talking my shit on that second half, bro. Like literally, like I don't know what kind of mood I was in, but I just wanted to get everything off my chest and just like talk my shit basically. You know, I be playing at the Grands 5 years down the line, they be calling me the man, goddamn. And I be doing what you can do. You can never tell me what I can do. Switch it up every single time, feeling brand new. And I be all up in your head like a motherfucking can too. Where the honey's at, psych, where the money at. Get the fucking bag down, I'm running like a running back. You know, like that shit's crazy. And then I reference the reason why I named the song that way, Gatsby the Blue Angel. So the second half is basically where the Blue Angel part starts. And that's pretty much the character in like a part of a song. Like that's pretty much like who he is, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like what I think of the Blue Angel. Yeah, just ego boosted, just going crazy. And I reference him towards the end in the last bar of the song. And yeah, that's pretty much that song. And then it segues into Boyhood.
Yeah. So Boyhood also very different, I'd say.
Very different, yeah. But the thing is, I think all the songs in the album are very different from each other, but they also are cohesive enough to fit in the same album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on like cohesiveness in the first listen? I'm just curious.
I mean, I feel like the message overall was the same. Like along the same lines, like the storyline was like easy to be followed, I guess, but like it all sounded like, I don't know, like its own project kind of.
Yeah.
Like from Aura to Last Summer, it's just two complete opposites kind of.
It's
like,
two
there's
complete
still some
opposites.
Factors, you know, but
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the reason they sound so different is because I was just in like two different, not moods, but like mind states almost.
Yeah.
But I still found a way to bridge them together, which is cool, I think. So, and that's why I was mentioning like the most experimental album yet. Mm-hmm. Is just because, yeah, it's just like really hectic. But once you kind of listen a few times and fully understand it, it starts to piece itself together. So yeah. Boyhood. So this is like, I think the second to last song I finished in the album. I sent it to you, right?
Yeah.
I sent it to you like right before I finished it. because I wanted your opinion on the outro, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I had that intro, and that's me and this girl, Shayla, who's actually my guitarist. He has a band. His name is Brandon, and his band is Midcoast. And I remembered he had a lead singer for the band. And so I hit her up, and she helped. She kind of littered some vocals throughout the album, which is really cool. And that intro was something I wrote last year, kind of at a time during a lot of change. And I just kind of felt like I missed, like I had some nostalgia for like the old days, but I also felt like I was kind of fighting the currents of time, you know, and like drowning, because like that's one thing about life. Like I feel like the only constant is change. Obviously people say that, and I think when you try too hard to, I think when you get stuck in the past too much, it definitely holds you back from what you should be doing in the present.
Yeah.
And so Boyhood's pretty much about that whole struggle between appreciating your past but also moving forward. And I think that really gets exemplified in the hook. Every second, every minute, I go back and forth. I don't want to dwell because the time is short. And that's Brad wrote that actually, and just he talks about like what Boyhood gifted and all this stuff. In my first verse is pretty much like just almost like a check-in, like a mental check-in with myself, like almost like if I had a diary or something. Like that's what I would have wrote for the first verse. And then obviously Brad comes in the second verse, and he does his verse, and I have these little, this is my favorite part of the song, this little, you know, the little melody part I have in my second verse, like the on and on and on, run and run. Because like I felt like it was a good song lyrically, but I still needed to sneak in those little like melodies that I love, so I did it there. And then yeah, the rest is pretty much icing on the cake with the build up outro into the spoken message.
Yeah.
And yeah, that actually in the spoken message, so I tweeted something earlier in the year saying bathing in the happiness that once was, and I thought of that when I was making the song, and sort of about last summer too, because they're both similar like in the nostalgia sense, you know. And I just thought of that like line pretty much. Bathing in the happiness that once was is pretty much like another form or just another way to say nostalgia. I thought that was cool, so I tweeted that, and then it ended up in the song, which is cool. And then yeah, that outro, the one you told me to pick, ended up staying on the album. So
yeah. And the spoken messages, it seems like they add a lot to the album.
Yeah, for sure. So it kind of gets revealed in Sunset Lake, but all those spoken messages are actually part of the same voicemail. I don't know if you knew that, but
no.
So when the last spoken message comes on, right before it happens, you hear like, "Please leave your message after the tone," and this was all part of the same voicemail to someone. And if you listen back, they all kind of string together. And I originally had this because like in moments like last summer, like the song was finished, but I felt like, I think maybe just the way I felt at the time, but I really needed to like draw my point in. So I had that message at the end. And towards the end of the album, I realized they all kind of sort of fit together. So I kind of made them all part of the same voicemail, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that's just a little cool little like kink in the album that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah. like I think they really help me bring my point across at what I'm trying to say in each song. So whenever you hear them, or like for example, if it's on Lily of the Valley, it's just pretty much like a deeper look into what I'm thinking. So yeah.
Yeah. Like Daydream is just, I mean, there's not really any lyricism, I'd say. Like you like there's words, but like it's not, I'd say it's like, I don't know, just like instrumental based, I guess.
Yeah. So how I make or listen to music, I put sound first. So I mean, lyrics are cool and I think they are important, but as a musician, I've definitely put sound first. Just the way it sounds, like sometimes like I have songs like in different languages, like where I don't even know what they're saying, but it feels good, you know, just through sound. So I really wanted to focus on just the overall sound of the album, especially within the production. Just because that's the shit that like makes me really happy, you know?
Yeah.
Like a cool like chord change or like a beat drop or something, you know, that really gets you going. So that was a big focus of the album. So like you said, Daydream. It was this interlude I had. It was an early version of it that I made really quickly. Same chords and everything. They're really like Stevie Wonder-esque chords because he does that little waterfall thing, you know, how the song kind of like almost like water falls down throughout the song, like the chords. And he did that a lot. And I think I was listening to he has a song called Never in Your Sun where he does that in his verses, and I thought it was really cool. And I wanted to just have like an interlude with just those chords so I could like listen to it here and there and be like, you know.
Yeah.
So I made that. It was the early version. I didn't touch it for a while. And then I remember one time I came back to it. Amanda put her vocals on it. She's the one who sings in Sunset Lake. Does like really cool runs and stuff. She's definitely really good. She was one of the best singers on the album, I feel. And she had that little like the thing that you hear at the beginning of Daydream, those like vocals that kind of lead you into the song. And the instrumentation is crazy on that with the harps and pianos. That's me playing that on piano when it like does those little arpeggio things.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely harder to play on the keyboard rather than the piano, but I figured it out. That song is in my top 3 for sure. Just the way the chords move and the whole movement of the song is really cool. Yeah.
All right, so then Yellow.
So you actually played a big part in that, helping with melodies and stuff. And you actually had some vocals on the pre-hook. You make my heart keep beating, my knees get weak, and I'm thinking that I'm falling in love. We were working on that song since when?
Shit, since like I don't even know, like December maybe.
It was like November, December, around that time.
Yeah,
and like it was a weird time because I had like a drought in melodies almost.
Yeah, because I remember you were like in your dorm and you like FaceTimed me or some shit.
I was FaceTiming you in the dorm.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a lot harder to make music there, but we were just trying to figure out those melodies. And the original one I had, remember the I want you to love me.
Yeah.
I don't wanna end in catastrophe.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
Yeah, and I listened to that the other day, and I still thought that was a pretty good melody, but I think the one we used is definitely good. And remember I asked you, I wanted that like be mine.
Yeah.
I wanted that little like movement in there, and the melodies, and we figured it out, the Yellow, which was really cool. And then I didn't touch that shit for till about like a month ago,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the last song I actually finished for the album. And I thought it was good to use something I worked on a while ago because that's when I was making everything else. And so I feel like it'd be most cohesive with that just because I had the same mind state when I started it. Yeah, dude, that song is crazy. I finished that in a week
Yeah.
because like I said, I had to leave. So I had to make that shit in a week. And I was just like staying up every night, getting little to no sleep, making that. And yeah, because you came over like
The week before, I think.
the week before, and it was like
you were telling me how.
we set up the structure, didn't
Yeah, yeah, we did, and then you were like, "Shit, I hope I finish it."
we? Yeah,
in time."
dude.
Yeah, I remember
It
that.
was tough. And then so I scrambled and I got DeAndre. Andrew came in with the verse too. Which they both did amazing on that. I did the verses and just somehow whipped it out in a week. But yeah, it doesn't, I mean, you couldn't tell it was like rushed or anything.
No,
right?
you couldn't.
Yeah, it was just like working very hard on that. And the melodies are really good on that, especially during the verses when that 808 comes in.
Yeah.
And it just sounds really, that song sounds really warm, which is cool, like that analog warmth, which is nice, with the harps and pianos and literally every instrument's on that song.
And then that ending.
Yeah, the ending, bro. So the verses we got out of the way, and then the pre-hook, and then the hook comes back in, and the outro, like the I want you to love me. And then I had that intro from a while ago. I checked at the end of the project file. I was like, yeah, we're putting that back in. And so yeah, it was one of those moments. I feel like there's a lot of those moments on the album. I feel like my strong point is intros and outros for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm really good at like kind of drawing stuff together or like starting it out. So yeah, and that outro with the obviously the arpeggios and the synths and stuff. There's a few of those on the album.
Yeah.
And I think those are really dramatic. Even though I'm not saying anything, I'm just like giving you sound, and that's kind of my expression in a way, you know?
Yeah, you can really feel it.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like those hard bass hits or like, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah. So then another interlude, Lily of the Valley.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was also one I made, I think, in the winter. And this song is about kind of the bad side or like the dark side of infatuation, and like kind of tells you like it's not all sunshine and rainbows, you know?
Yeah.
Like I think we've all been through stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's hard, but it definitely teaches you a lot going through it. And I guess my way of dealing with it was making that metaphor just about like plants. Just like that whole interlude is like centered around that. And it's one of those spoken messages again, because I feel like I couldn't do it justice by like making a melody out of it or something. I just had to say this straight up. So that song, so what the Lily of the Valley is, I might have told you, maybe not, but the Lily of the Valley is a flower. It's one of the most beautiful flowers like that exist, but at the same time it's also one of the most poisonous. So I mean, you can kind of see where I'm going with the metaphor here, but just everything about, you know, you cemented your roots, I couldn't ignore them, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And pretty much infatuation in a metaphor dealing with plants. So I thought that was cool. Because at the end, yeah, cemented your roots, stay cemented on my path forever until my Until my focus sways to a new seed, your plant will continue to thrive, like poison ivy, like the lily valley.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could kind of, I don't have to explain it too much. You can kind of take it as you want. But yeah, I think and I also think Lily Valley is like the heaviest song on the album. If it's one of the heaviest, if not, it's You. But those two songs are like really, really heavy.
Yeah, I'd say those two go pretty well together. Like,
yeah, and especially the way I like transition.
Yeah, the way it
too.
transitions.
So, yeah, it's. I think, besides the Aura to Last Summer, I think this is my favorite transition of the album. Just the way, because both songs kind of deal with the same emotion.
Yeah,
it's kind of like longing for someone, you know. And Lily the Valley is more of like a realization of like what's going on, but You is like you're aware of it, but like you still can't stop it, you know? Like literally in You, like the hook is just, I want to see you, I need to see you.
Yeah.
Like that's literally it. Like that's probably the most honest song in the album for sure. Just like probably honestly like more honest than I should be, but it was just my way of kind of dealing with things at the time. And these verses are my favorite on the album, I think. They're really, it's not much to them at first listen, especially because my voice is pitched up and stuff. And like that's kind of my way of like hiding behind all like the pitch sounds and stuff, because I'm like, it's straight from the heart, you know. And like I want to see you instead of you, I want it to be we, because we work better together than never. And I think we both just need to agree, because I can't stand to be alone, even if it means I need to grow. Like that shit's heavy.
Yeah.
Like I can't be alone even if it means I need to grow. Like that's like a whole nother level of like bro, are you okay? You know? Like,
yeah, for real.
It's tough. Even if it means we need to grow, cause it's you I need the most. Thought it was a plan that we proposed, guess not. Time was not on our side. Also society ripped us apart. I said it, cried and tried and tried, but I knew it wouldn't work from the start. It beat up my heart, it beat up my soul, left me a scar, guess that was the goal. It took a toll on me being happy, cause all I could think about was you. And then I'll ease back into the hook.
Yeah.
And that shit's just like I can't be any more honest than that. Like I'm literally saying it straight up. Like
Yeah.
there's no like crazy deeper meaning behind it. I'm just saying it as it is. Which I think it's cool because like you hear it and you already know what it means. Like you don't have to like think deeper about it. It's literally like you listen, and to anyone who's going through that sort of thing, like, you know, you could kind of just understand it like in its purest form.
Yeah.
And yeah, the second verse, so in the first verse I say time was not on our side, also society ripped us apart. And then in the second verse I kind of elaborate on that and like what I was talking about. And you know, college, finally fell in love, college fucked it up. I think I mentioned college a few times on this album, don't I?
Yeah, I think so.
On Boyhood I do.
Yeah, and Gatsby you do, I think too. Like
Gatsby too.
Yeah.
Like, damn, I don't even realize how much that shit pops up. Like, damn. But college fucked it up. Now I'm fucking stuck all alone. Cause when push comes to shove, you the only one. God set me up, cause he called it done. You know, like that's crazy. Now I'm asking why I had to say goodbye. We didn't have the time. I tried to make you mine. Parallel lines could not align. You were painful in disguise. That's the hardest two lines of the album.
Yeah,
bro.
that shit.
That shit's crazy. Obviously Parallel's on Neptune, right?
Yeah.
That was my favorite song on Neptune. And I made a reference back to that. Parallel lines could not align. Obviously parallel lines are very similar, but they never meet. That's the thing about parallel lines. They never intersect. So parallel lines could not align. You were painful in disguise. That's the hardest shit ever. Because obviously there's the saying, it's kind of a play off the saying, obviously blessing in disguise is a saying, right?
Yeah.
But like no one's thought of it the other way around. And that's exactly how I felt. You were painful in disguise. Kind of also, like in terms of Lily the Valley, like obviously it's the most beautiful plant, but it's also the most poisonous. It's almost painful in disguise.
Yeah.
So I kind of like how those two tie together.
Yeah, so After You is the last song.
Yes, I wanted a happy ending. Yeah, I did not want to end this album on a bad note. So I made Sunset Lake. I think I started this last fall sometime. I think October or something. I had the instrumental, and that's pretty much all I had. And I thought, okay, this needs a guitar solo. So I called up Brandon. I had someone else actually record it first, and was like, okay, that's not bad, but let me ask Brandon. Sent it to Brandon, and he just went crazy on it.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
He did go crazy.
Yeah, he went absolutely insane, and he recorded actually over the whole song 3 times. So that's like I took all my favorite parts from the same and put them in the same riff. So after that bridge, you hear like that kind of. It's almost like the resolution of the album, and yeah, his riff was really, really good, and that's also me. Like, it's hard to hear, and this is throughout the whole album too. I go crazy on the keys. Like, you could hear them; they're kind of like buried in the mix sometimes, but that's something I really think added to every song. Whether you could hear it straight up or it's just like more feeling, you could feel them, but. That's me going crazy on the piano at the end too. Honestly, with every instrument, like that's definitely like. It sounds like when his riff starts playing, it almost sounds like the grand finale at a fireworks show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. It's kind of like, yeah, just like the grand finale. Me flexing every creative muscle I have. Just in like one section. I thought that was really cool. And so after he sent me the solo, I didn't touch it for a while. It took me so long to think of melodies. Like I said, Kalarsa, he helped me with melodies on there too. And I finally just said fuck it and wrote them all out one night. All the lyrics, all the melodies, everything, the structure. Put it all together, and then I said this needs like something else. Like, it was good, but it needs like a climax almost. And that's where I put the bridge in, where the chords change. Got me feeling like, and that's like definitely one of my favorite moments on the album. Just the way the chords move around and like those melodies. The melodies on that song are so good. So good. And yeah, like the bridge melodies are insane, with Amanda doing those like really pretty runs in the background, like my background vocals too. That's just like the album's climax, I think. And then after that, everything is just resolution. And so you hear that whole instrumental part, and then after that comes the big climax, like the real end of the album, and where it gets revealed that the voicemail thing about all the spoken messages.
Yeah.
And I just needed a crazy send off, like, because I feel like the album, it's hard to explain, but I think like, especially with the album being all over the place, I think it needed one more like send off. So I put that part in, really simple chords, nothing crazy to it, with the you're the one playing in the background, and then it just drops and this deep growling bass comes in, and these strings playing like really pretty melodies over these chords. and obviously the classic Neptune synth harps
Yeah.
swirling around the atmosphere, and that just creates this. That's my favorite moment on the album for sure. Just this, it creates this big space. It seems really colorful, and you get the last spoken message of the album, and it has to do with it still goes back to that infatuation thing, and it kind of, for me listening at least, it kind of tells me like through all this, like that's one of the most like vivid emotions to overcome almost, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because that shit sticks. I mean, you know for sure.
Yeah.
But I thought that would just be perfect for the ending. And you hear the ship take off, obviously, on every album. So you leave the planet, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And then the ship leaves. You hear the one last little riff, and the alarm. You hear the alarm. I forgot about this. It's like one of the most important moments on the album. You hear the alarm. You hear someone wake me up. Will wakes me up, and he says, "Yo, it's time to go." And I wake up, and that's when it gets revealed that the whole album is a dream. Because I wake up at the very end, and he says, "Yo, we gotta be late for whatever," and that was an idea I had from the very beginning. Especially when stuff started coming together. The whole second half of the album, starting from Daydream to Sunset Lake, like that feels like a dream. Like,
yeah,
like you understand that, right?
Especially Sunset Lake, I feel like that was like just everything was just like perfect, I guess. Like it was a dream.
Exactly. I think it's perfect because the last song is like it's almost like it's like a final destination you kind of arrive at, and it's kind of like one of those moments where like all the smoke clears and you're like, wow, like what just happened? But it's really beautiful. And Daydream, from Daydream to Sunset Lake, it gets really dreamy. And then obviously I wake up, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So what are your future plans? Do you know yet? Or
I definitely got some ideas. I definitely want to keep. I don't think I'm ever gonna stop making music, but I also really want to expand myself in like my threshold of like what I can do, because I think doing this album really proved that I could like work very hard on one thing and focus like all my time and energy, and I think it turned out pretty good. So I can't say too much, but I definitely got some bigger ideas than what I've been doing. Like I said, I won't stop music, but at the same time, I really want to push myself to see what I can do and how, much territory I can discover with myself. Just see where my feelings take me, bro, because that's what I've been using as kind of like my compass, because I feel like it'll never take me in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, bro, that's the Blue Angel. It's crazy. Like I'm thinking back now, like a year ago yesterday I made you. Like it's weird. It's just weird thinking how much I've worked on this and like the whole process and everything. It's really crazy, because I've never taken this much time to work on something before. I mean, you saw part of the process, right? You were there like pretty much since day one.
Yeah.
of making this album. What was your kind of perspective from that? Because obviously I'm the one making it, but I never have the perspective of like a listener. So I've always been interested in that.
I feel like it's just so relatable. I feel like just like not even like our age in general, but just like youth. I feel like even like people growing up still, like you can really relate to this idea of like love, I guess.
Like love is in what kind of love?
Like I don't even know how I would describe it.
Like love is in relationship love?
Love is in relationship,
Or love for like
and then maybe even like for yourself, I guess too.
for yourself. Yes. Yeah.
Both of those.
Yes. And that's a lot of people struggle with that. I think you and me are very good at that. And some of the people we know, we keep a tight circle. We're pretty good at that. But a lot of people really struggle with themselves and like being okay with like just that. And like, I mean, it's really cliche like to say be yourself, you know, everyone's heard it, but I think not just being yourself, but trusting yourself is really a big step that goes into that, you know, because I mean, you're an artist too, like it's not easy, but I think once you fully are yourself and trust that you're going to be cool with that, I think everything becomes easier, you know, because a lot less to worry about, you know, and you could just kind of be and, you know, see how far you can push yourself, like I said. And people, I think I'm going to use this as an example, you to me almost, like seeing how I go about things, like makes you seem like, oh, okay, like I'm going to be okay if I do this, you know? And like, I think that's really cool to see. Cause I mean, I've had people like that for me, like all my inspirations. So yeah, it's cool to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for doing this talk, bro.
Yeah, bro. Anytime.
It was good talking about it.
Yeah. Till next time.
Yeah, bro. Till next time. We'll see what happens in the future, but let's stay tuned, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.